guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have some Greek mythology book recommendations for you. And you can probably see I have a little bit of a towering stack here to go through with you guys. This is ridiculous. So of course we have to start with the internet's absolute favourite, The Song of Achilles. The Song of Achilles is great. It's fantastic. It's not my favourite from this stack though, I will say that. Although it might be the internet's favourite, and it is a really, really beautiful piece of writing. There are some in this stack I think are better, but this one is great. It follows the story of the Iliad and the story of Achilles and Patroclus, and it's just a really lovely, heartwarming story. Moving on to another one by Madeline Miller. This is Circe, and I actually prefer this one to the Song of Achilles. A lot of people don't, but I read this one first and I personally prefer it. Possibly it's the fact that it's following the story of a woman, and a magical woman at that, and I just find that character easier to relate to and sympathise with. Honestly, I can't fault this book. Next, we're going to move on to Natalie Haynes. If you haven't listened to her podcast as well, she's got a great podcast called Natalie Haynes Stands Up for the Classics, which is so funny. She's hilarious. She's incredibly knowledgeable about all of the classics and also hilarious, which is just a great mix, and I love her. I love her so much. So the first one is Pandora's Jar. You'll have to excuse my very battered copy. I actually bought it secondhand and they told me that this was going to be in perfect condition. It arrived and it wasn't. So yeah, this is Pandora's Jar, a fantastic book, more full of essays is the wrong word. They're not really essays. A collection of short stories / short essays about women in Greek mythology. Completely factual and excellently written, really, really engaging. And it's one of those non-fiction books that you're reading it, but you don't feel like you're reading non-fiction because it's so entertaining. And non-fiction in my brain, I know this is a really bad way to think about non-fiction, but non-fiction in my brain just isn't entertaining. When I think of non-fiction, I think that I'm reading it for the information and for the information only. This isn't like this. It is a great read and really entertaining to read, but will also give you a much better background on Greek mythology if that's what you're looking for at the same time. We're now going to move on to my favourite, possibly one of my favourite books ever, and that is Stone Blind. This book, first of all, how beautiful is this copy? It's just so beautiful. You can see it catching the light. That's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with this book. In short, I am obsessed with it. It is a retelling of the story of Medusa. I think you probably know by now, or at least have a vague idea, that the history of Medusa is not quite as it seems. And this goes into that in more detail. It is fantastically written. It is, of course, a very sad story, but Natalie Haynes is also really funny. It's one of those great books that's like a really sad story, but you really enjoy reading it and you're laughing at points as well because the writing is just so fantastic. Her characters are excellent, and like I say, her sense of humour is immaculate. Natalie Haynes' humour is perfect, especially for Greek mythology. It works brilliantly. And this book is actually told from many, many different points of view, including an olive grove at one point, which is great. You get like a full 360-degree view of the story. So I really recommend this one. If you take away one thing from this video, then go and read Stone Blind. That's all I'm gonna say. So next we have Natalie Haynes' newest book, which is Divine Might. I'm going to confess I haven't read this yet, so I can't really recommend it to you other than saying that it's written by Natalie Haynes, and Natalie Haynes is fantastic, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be an absolute immaculate read again. While we're here, let's very quickly go through some others that I haven't read, but I've bought because everyone's told me they're great. So the first one is Clytemnestra. I'm really looking forward to reading this just because I love Clytemnestra. There are many mixed feelings out there in the world about Clytemnestra, but I think she's a great character and I'm really looking forward to reading her story. If you're not familiar with Clytemnestra, she's the wife of Agamemnon, the one that murdered him in the bath when he came back from the Trojan War. The other one I have, but I haven't read yet, is Medusa by Jessie Burton. So again, this is another retelling of the story of Medusa, and it's a really short read as well. Okay, moving on. Next, we have this trio. Like, these are some of the most beautiful books that I own. Starting off with Ariadne. How gorgeous. Just look at that. Let's focus in on her. How gorgeous is she? She's beautiful. So yeah, this is Ariadne. I love her. She is basically a little bit more of like a fun, romancy read than the Natalie Haynes retellings and the Madeline Miller retellings. It's a great form of escapism. I think this is far more escapism than Natalie Haynes and Madeline Miller, in my opinion. These are wonderful romance, historical romance, retellings of Greek mythology at the same time. It's just great. There's islands, there's gods, there's goddesses, there's princesses, there are pretty dresses. It's beautiful, so beautiful. The next one is Electra. Again, very similar vibe. Look how gorgeous she is. This one's a little bit darker because of the nature of the story. Electra is Clytemnestra's daughter, so again, we got a lot of murdering going on in this family. So it is by nature going to be a little bit darker, but it's still just a very lovely, just a lovely book to read. And the last one, I am going to confess, I haven't actually read Atalanta yet. I have this beautiful hardback copy that my brother got for me for my birthday. So yeah, I haven't read this one yet and I can't wait to get to it. I'm so excited again. I have so many books that I really want to read and I can't wait to get to. But Atalanta is the third one of Jennifer Saint's books. And I have no doubts that it's going to be as fantastic as the other two. So I kind of think, in my opinion, that Madeline Miller, Natalie Haynes and Jennifer Saint form like the holy trio of Greek mythology retellings at the moment. They are the main go-to guys. Like, yeah, if you're looking for Greek mythology retellings and it's written by one of these three, then go for it. So this is our final recommendations pile. Let me know if you read any or if you have read any and what you think of them in the comments. And like I say, if you're gonna take away anything from this video, then go away and read Stone Blind. Read this book. I promise you won't regret it. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, the writing is incredible. And like I say, it's so funny at the same time. Just, I love Natalie Haynes so much. Just go binge everything to do with Natalie Haynes. Go do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe.